Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Sim Experience IBF GT3 World Series Round 5 from Long Beach Grand Prix Circuit in California, United States. So we're now heading into our European/American crossover rounds. We're doing several US rounds, including Sebring. So tonight it is a street circuit, so it's a very, very difficult track for the drivers. Hopefully it will be a challenge that brings exciting racing for us. It is definitely a challenging track. It is a 3-kilometer circuit, so it's not the longest track, but they are quite cool. There is quite a long straight, although it's got a kink in it. It is a flat-out kink. So that is, it goes from the tightest corner on the circuit through the fastest corner on the circuit into a very, very tight chicane around the flower pot there. So that'll be quite an exciting first few corners. So of course this is round 5 of the championship. We're now coming up to the halfway mark. Following round will be Spa Grand Prix Circuit, Spa-Francorchamps, and most of you will know that from Formula 1. And then we head to Mexico for the Formula 1 circuit. Montreal, also the Formula 1 circuit in Canada. And then Sebring back in America. And then we head back to Europe again, to Italy. Final round at Monza, another Formula 1, so lots of Formula 1 style tracks, which will be fast and flowing. And of course Monza will be the fastest of all the circuits we go to. And just looking at our points. This is the point structure for the championship. Sprint race gets a maximum of 20 points, and feature race a maximum of 40. Each race there's a position for the fastest lap, and there's 1 point for pole position. Qualifying you get 1 point for pole position. Qualifying sets the grid for the sprint race. The finishing results of the sprint race set the grid for the feature race. Our sprint race is a 6-lap race. Our feature race is a 60-minute race. Then looking at our top 3, or perhaps I can show you the professional top 3. I believe that's actually incorrect. I haven't done that correctly, so apologies for that. We have Chris Collison in first place, Jason Underwood is actually in second place, and Stanton Augustus is now down to third place. Our Veterans Championship, I believe, is correct. We have Marius van Wyk in first, Harvey Goos in second, and Andre Hildebrand in third. Then looking at our overall points. So we have the top three. Chris Collison on 170 points, Jason Underwood on 154 points, and Stanton Augustus for Fach Autotech Esports on 140 points. So a lot closer between third and second, and even the gap between first and second closing just a little bit. And then the rest of the field. In fourth place, Timo Smit for Minions Racing, Gerrit Bukes for BP Racing, Sean Olivier for Thorax Racing, then Adrian Nel, Jean-Ray de Toy, Jandre Duppenau, Julian Brains, Rian van der Westhuizen, Richard Cillier, Sean Johnson, Pieter Geldenes, Peter Murray, Donny Bellafronte, who won't be joining us tonight, Dani Stander, and Wessel Villian make up our top 18. Alright, I believe the drivers are now in qualifying, so I'm going to change over to live feed. So we are now live. As we see one of the drivers in one of our Porsches heading out. Alright, so this is official qualifying for the Sim Experience IBFUSA GT3 World Series Round 5 from Long Beach, California. I am your commentator, Dennis Mitchell. I'll be joined by Sean Woodgate once again tonight. He might be away, so when Sean gets back, he can just say hello. And for those that have just joined, this of course is our schedule. We are at round 5. Of course, round 5 will be followed by Spa, Francorchamps, Mexico Grand Prix Circuit, Montreal in Canada, Sebring in America, and Monza in Italy. A quick look at our standings once again. We have our top three: Chris Collison from Jason Underwood and Stanton Augustus, Timo Smit, Gerrit Bukes, Sean Olivier, Adrian Nel, Jean-Ray de Toy, Jandre Duppenau, Julian Brains, Rian van der Westhuizen, Richard Cillier, Sean Johnson, Pieter Geldenes, Peter Murray, Donny Bellafronte, Dani Stander, and Wessel Villian. And our team standings coming into this round. Team Harder Racing leads Fach Auto Tech Esports from PZN Panel Beaters, who have now moved up to third. Minions Racing have dropped down to fourth. BP Racing, PZN Weldmec Racing, Thorax Racing, Midnight Code, PZN Racing, Team High Revolution Racing, Sim Experience SA, SRC Motorsport, GDR Racing, IBFUSA, and in 15th place, Team High Revolution Roadside. Alright, so now we can start covering our Formula 1 coverage. Start covering our qualifying coverage. Unfortunately, they're not driving Formula 1 cars, they are driving GT3 cars. Alright, so as the drivers are now heading out, currently following Stanton Augustus. Currently the fastest lap set is a 17.7 by Gerrit Bukes. He's actually just pitted. Adrian Nel in second on a 18.4 currently. Andre Besson, a new joiner to the series, currently in third place on a 18.6. Stanton currently in fourth place. Very, very tricky circuit to navigate this. Perhaps we can show you an onboard just to let you know how treacherous it can be. Let's go on board with Pieter Geldenes. Take just enough curb there, drift it wide. Your best to stay off there. Go over those little rumble strips on the inside, but too much you'll get a cut. You go under the bridges. Fantastic looking circuit. Difficult to spot your markers there because everything is very light in color and the wall goes past the actual braking point. Pull it over to the left, get ready to turn and go over the curb on the inside once again. You can take quite a lot of curb there. So we now go through a kink into a right hand bend. Quite a few bridges here. Could have taken a bit more curb on the inside there. Keep it nice and tight around the left into the tightest corner on the circuit, which will be a hairpin right. Final corner. Try and get as much traction as you can onto the long straight. The straight which has a big kink in it, which is the fastest turn on the circuit. We'll follow him through the first sector because we missed the first sector. Unless he decides to pit. Navigates that nicely. Right, as we now head into the probably the most famous part of the circuit there, around the flowers. The flower bed there is probably the most famous flower bed in motor racing. Jean-Andre is now pitted. Looked like Jason just clipping the wall slightly there. Still waiting for Sean to join. Sean will be with us shortly. Hopefully everyone is seeing a decent feed tonight on the YouTube. We are back on YouTube after some technical problems with our YouTube feeds. So we've had all kinds of issues with me moving and the ISP is not providing us the connections and all sorts of things. So we are finally back. We have the connection sorted out like it should be, and it looks like everything is running smoothly. But any issues, hopefully everyone in the YouTube channel will let us know. Hopefully audio levels are okay. We see Adrian heading into turn 1. Perhaps you can go on board with Adrian. He's definitely going to be pushing. Whether it wasn't turn 1, that was turn 3, I think he navigated. Nice amount of curb there, getting the back end just to drift slightly to rotate the car. Once again, back end coming out, straightening the car up nicely. Fastest overall in sector 1. Someone, I guess, joining the server, so we have a slight pause. That pause, by the way, only happens when you're in spectator mode, so the drivers shouldn't be seeing or feeling that. As we can see, Adrian still navigating fine. If he had experienced that, he would have probably been in the barrier. Coming up to another slower cars. Unless this car is on an outlap. There's a fellow Porsche. And a few guys joining, that's why I just hesitate slightly, and Adrian doesn't improve it. I think he backed off slightly there in that final sector, or maybe was forced to back off slightly. So in second place at the moment we have Jean-Andre de Toy. Now Jean-Andre has had several connection issues. Hopefully tonight those issues are sorted. With our practice server, he definitely has a problem. Every time it changes session, he gets kicked out. So hopefully it won't be an issue on this server. This is a totally different server we're on tonight. Our race server and our practice servers are separate. Navigating the flowers nicely there. Almost kissing the wall, getting as close as you like. Traffic in front moving over nicely for him. Oh, nice and close to the wall there, as close as you'd like to be. Sometimes just slightest brush of the wall is what you need to be doing, but very difficult and dangerous to do that regularly. Moving over nicely to the left, taking a nice amount of curb there. I believe that corner you can take quite a lot like that and it's happy with you. So not the fastest middle sector though. Lost a bit of time, but a personal best in sector 1. Let's see how the final sector pans out. Of course, he's currently in second position, only 0.3 off pole position. Oh, gets the final turn wrong. That didn't quite work out the way he would have liked. I don't think he'll be getting a personal best unless he had a terrible... No, definitely not a personal best there. Alright, let's have a look at Peter Murray currently starting a lap. Probably the most fun part of the circuit is that first sector with the flowers. It's daunting while being fun at the same time. Getting on the power nicely there, keeping the car nice and neat. Some of the drivers using that little escape road to our left, to their right there, able to just move the car over a bit, gain a bit. Peter not choosing to do that.
Good evening to you, Dennis.
Good evening, Sean, and welcome.
Oh, must be a very interesting circuit that we have tonight, Long Beach, California.
I believe the American IndyCars race around here. This must be a pretty scary track in the IndyCars.
I'm just following Peter Maria going around. Even though, yes, it's scary with the walls, I think the corners are pretty scary, but the straight bits are quite wide. So I think if you have a good slipstream and enough distance in which to do it, then there are actually quite a few overtaking opportunities here.
And one of our new drivers tonight, Andre Besson, currently in 4th place, directly behind Peter on track at the moment, heading into turn 1. Nice and smooth now into the flower section.
Now that section in I think the racing drivers will have a gentleman's agreement. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4 will probably be a no-go zone for overtaking on the first lap, because there's just no way that you're going to get so many cars lined up next to each other. It's going to be, I think, only after turn 5 where they head down towards the Tecate turn and the Hyatt Hotel, and that has a 90-degree plus left-hander. It's Pine Avenue. There I think you'll start looking at overtaking, but not anything before that. At this point I think they have to watch out for the pit lane exit. So this is turn 1, the left-hander. If I've got my bearings correct, there's the palm trees that I've marked as a landmark. What you see here is the flower pot that the guys go around, or the fountain. So that's turn 2, 3. And it certainly does make the change of direction very quickly. I did follow them in sim racing on YouTube, and the change of direction is very, very fast.
Feedback from YouTube is that the stream is going smoothly, so that's brilliant to hear that we are back to running smoothly.
Yeah, it certainly is. In fact, I've got to swap screens around, so I need to get a hold of myself. Put things in different places to where they are at the moment, because I let the stream run, but I sort of just, if I miss something, then I do use it, but other than that, not really. And then I have another list of the entrants, the names that I use from time to time. When you see a number and you can't immediately, if you don't see the caption and you don't have the name immediately, then I have a list that helps me out there as well. And I also dump on the second screen so as not to impede my vision on the primary screen.
As we see Donovan and Mark navigating, getting a personal best in sector 1, but slightly squirrely out of the last corner there. But otherwise looking good. Oh, a little squirrely again.
Still getting, I think this track is virtually dead level, so no hills and valleys to contend with. So Donovan
into the barrier.
Yeah, as we speak about that, it's an unforgiving track. So if you do make a mistake, I was just having a look there, I'd missed it, but Donovan is running a different number from what I've got him as. But
you see Timo navigating the flower bed.
yeah, that's the Minions racing car. And look how, if they exit the corner immediately, they're on the brake markers for the next one. That one I've got marked as a parking lot, or looks like a parking garage. That's turn 5 that you go through. And once they get through the left, then they head up to the offices that you see a magnitude of, then it's right, and down Seaside Way, which has all these overpasses that if you're in the light, in the dark, in the light, in the dark side. I'm not sure, I think the guys probably get used to it. And then into turn 6, well, that was Seaside Way, it's the Firestone turn, and that immediately into Indy left. It's a long left-hander, and then the hairpin and into the straight, which is another one of those that isn't actually a straight.
We saw him getting a bit of understeer there. We have 30 seconds left for qualifying. Where does this place him? Up to 7th.
Right, so interesting to see that John Ray's had a good qualifying session with car number 737 and Audrey O'Neill number 15 in second for now. and things will probably change. Gerard Beekes, car number 3. Dennis, thank you very much for putting the car numbers next to the drivers' names. It certainly does help a lot. Gerard Beekes runs the BP Racing Colors car. You can't miss it. It's white with green and yellow. So, and then there's the guys that are in the team for the championship. Jason Underwood, number 11, the Aston Martin, Team Harder Racing. And where's his teammate? Collison, number 22, is down in 8th position, I think it is.
That's a surprise, being the championship leader. You expect him to always be near the front.
Well, they might not be comfortable with the circuit. It might not suit their car. But then again, the sprint race counts half the points, but it's important to be in front in the sprint race, even though it's only 6 laps, because that determines the grid position for the endurance or the main race, which runs for 1 hour. So,
all right, so qualifying is over. The drivers will finish their lap. So Rian coming up to the finish now. Comes across the final corner, down the straight. And will cross the line any moment now. And does.
So Rian gets P14.
I believe Stanton now navigating the final turn.
That's the hairpin.
And into the barrier. That didn't go well.
Yeah, I think just that instant too quick and too hard on the throttle. But convenient to have the pit lane right there to get. He didn't have to go very far.
All right, we're going to jump to an ad break while we set the grid. We have a few penalties to apply, so we will be back shortly.
Speak to you then.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, Look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We are live for the sprint race of the Sim Experience IBF GT3 World Series Round 5 from Long Beach in California, United States. I'm your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Sean Woodgate.
Good evening, everybody, and what an interesting circuit we're at tonight.
Yep, this is Long Beach. This is round 5, so we're at the midway point of the championship. After this, we'll be going to Spa-Francorchamps, then the Mexican Grand Prix circuit, then the Montreal circuit from Canada, then Sebring, which is a very well-known endurance track in America, very, very bumpy, and then off to a very smooth, very fast Monza Grand Prix circuit. So we can just have a quick look at our starting order. Perhaps, Sean, you could read this out for us.
I can take you through it. Just wait for it to appear.
Why is it not appearing? Maybe I have something up. I have something not ticked here, that's why. Sorry. Alright, it should now show up.
There we go. Jean-Ray Detroit, number 737, is in pole. Adrianel, the Midnight Code car, number 15 in second. Third, Jason Underwood, 11. And fourth, Stanton Augustus in the Porsche. Andre Besson, number 4, is in fifth. Timo Smith, the Minions Racing, number 84, is in sixth. Seventh is Chris Collison, number 22, and eighth, Gerrit Beekes, BP Racing, number 3. In ninth position, Julian runs the Team High Revolution Racing car, number 40. 10th is Sean Willifee, Thorax Racing. 11th is Antonio De Lima, or Tony De Lima, BP Racing, number 24. And Miss 12, Peter Galneys, number 88, is 13th. 14th, number 69, Rian van Westhuizen. 15, number 61, Jeffrey Rouse. And Weasel Diesel, number 2, in 16th. Then it's Dinesh Singh, Donnie Stander, Andre Hildebrandt, Donovan Vermaak. Already I see the guys slowing right up and sort of, I wouldn't say getting in each other's way, but realizing that they want to slow things right down. So where did I get to? 16th was Jeffrey Rouse, Weasel Diesel, then Dinesh Singh. Donnie Stander is 18th, Andre Hildebrandt is 19th, Donovan Vermaak is in 20th, and Harvey Goos, Marius van Wyk, and Donnie Stander.
And we're away. The race is now live.
As quick as that. I think they'll just slot in until they get past the flower pot, which is turns 2, 3, and then they might even take it all the way to turn 4 before they decide to do a pass. But certainly it is an interesting circuit that they've gone through now. Is the flower pot, then it's left, and then into, it's just a turn 4, turn 5, then they into Verizon, and they pass what I've called the parking garage. There's a bit of a straight before they then go into a 90-degree left-hander, which I think is marked as 2 corners, but you'll see it's actually just a continuation. Timo doesn't have the exit out of that one very well, so luckily it doesn't look as if the damage is such that he can't continue. But the 2 BP Racing cars, are they the 2 running with each other there? Gerrit Beekes and his teammate.
Yes.
So Tony De Lima. So we'll have to wait and see if they... Remember, this is only 6 laps, and it counts half points, but it determines the start grid for the 1-hour main race. So important to get a good position.
Oh, Julian getting it wrong there.
Too quick on the throttle, and he was in 8th place. He's going to lose quite a few positions there, because you've got to also take into consideration you mustn't impede other drivers while trying to get back onto the circuit yourself. So Jeffrey Rouse, the Sim Experience SA car number 61. Let's see if he can make a pass at this stage. Oh, look at the back end of those cars getting tail happy as they step out through the corner. And they go, oh, clipping the flowers. Oh, he's lucky to miss the curbing on the left. But certainly, yeah. Yeah, certainly an A4 piece of paper past the parking lot and then into the Verizon straight again. There's an overpass there. There's actually quite a few around the circuit, but this straight bit only has one before the left Takati turn. I've got lunar markings on that now, and then the office blocks indicate we're into turn 8, and then there's a long, nice straight seaside way, which gives you a chance to slipstream and see if you're going to mount a overtaking maneuver into Firestone turn, which is a 90-degree right. But I think if you haven't got past by Firestone, then there's no chance again until the straight, which isn't a straight, it's a long curve, but it's the Indy left, it's left, 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 it continues, and then there's a sharp hairpin to the right. And once they've completed the hairpin, as they do here, then they're into the, I call it the bow rather than calling it the straight, and it's Shoreline Drive, which when they pass the start-finish line, it becomes Bridgestone, and then past the Hyatt Hotel, which should be on their right-hand side now. The Hyatt Hotel is also visible from turn 6. Timo Smit has got racing again, and where he's dropped down to 15th position, so he's not going to be too happy with himself about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but maybe he can make it up in the next race, although he will lose points from this race, but it's only half points versus the main race. Taking a lot of curb on the inside over the flower bed there.
Yeah, the danger of that is that you drift out wide onto turn 3, and turn 3 isn't a flower bed, it's a solid concrete wall, so you don't want to be arguing with that too much. Oh, there's a slow car there. Who's that? Adrian Nell's Porsche's.
Yeah, what's happened
slow.
there?
And I'm just going to find that I read the name correctly. The car that came past him, I'm not sure whether it was Donny or Stanton of the Fach Autotech eSport Porsche team.
It's Stanton, yes. Under threat now from
yes.
Andre Besson, and right behind them we have Gerrit Bukes.
Yeah, Gerrit in the BP Racing colours. I think one of the Boeing Brigade, that must be the guy in the lead, which is 737. Underwood has come up for quite a few positions from qualifying. Car number 11 to find himself in second position. They didn't qualify well. Where's number 22, his teammate? Did he perhaps greet the wall? Chris Collison is in the pits.
Yeah.
So certainly not the way that he wants things to go.
And that means he'll be starting in basically last place. Well, third last. I think there's two cars that are behind him.
No, this is fast, this is vicious, and then it's all over. Past the parking garage, again the Verizon straight.
Ooh, and I see he got a penalty. Chris has now got a penalty as well.
My goodness, so certainly things that we'll have to contend with in the endurance race. Are you going to apply the penalty for the endurance race?
Well, that would be for this race. I think it's separate, so if it's not served, I think the game automatically adds it onto his time.
Yeah. See, one of our Namibian competitors with a Namibian flag on the roof of the car there missed the car number, but nonetheless going strong.
I believe that is one of the Porsches. In fact, there are several that have the flag on their roof. Let's see if I can find which one it is. I believe it is Dirk or Donovan. Let's have a look. Oh, no, Donovan is in the pits, so it's definitely not Donovan.
Oh, he's in the PZN.
Dirk. There we go.
Yeah, Dirk with the G-Force Racing car, and certainly going very well. So just trying to see where he is position-wise.
Oh, getting faster. Look at this.
Oh, that's the tightest of squeezes I've ever seen. But well listened to in driver's briefing is to, if you see guys that are coming to lap you, just roll off the throttle. And even though, we have what we said we hope isn't going to happen. And that takes out, effectively, is that...
that was Antonio, I believe.
Yes, and one of the BP Racing cars that were stuck in one of those tight corners. But I think certainly somebody who's very glad that he's away from all of this is Jean-Ray Dutoy, the Aston Martin of PZN Racing. So also number 11, which is Jason Underwood, also running an Aston, but for Team Harder Racing.
One of the drivers I've been expecting, keeping my eye on through practice is Gerrit. He's been very fast in the practice servers. He actually topped the times on the practice server until tonight. So I think he's put the most laps in, I think roughly 500 laps, so he's definitely put the time in. Currently in 4th place, so I think he maybe didn't get the qualifying he wanted. But let's see, maybe he can work his way forward, certainly in the endurance race. Work his way forward, because certainly 4th place is not a bad place to start.
Yeah, and if you stay out of trouble in the endurance race, you have a very good chance of actually scoring points because the walls sort of take out the troublemakers on your behalf.
Yes.
Andre de Toy, is he coming up to the flag when he finishes this lap?
Yes, I believe this is the final lap. This is lap 6 of 6.
I think Jason Underwood will be very happy to have second, considering where he did qualify. But Andre de Toy comes through.
Fastest lap currently sitting with Jean de Toy at the moment, which is an 18.419. Jason on an 18.488. Andre Besson an 18.629. So the lap times are very, very close.
Yeah,
Carrot is at 18.6 as well. So the top four, all 18, within 0.2 of each other.
Yeah. And here comes the hairpin, so that must be the finish line coming up.
Yep.
And the checkered flag. Jean-Ray Dutoy, PZN Racing.
And Jason Underwood takes second place. Andre Besson, a brilliant third place for his debut.
Yeah, he's obviously done this before.
Garrett taking a fourth place. Adrian, I think in his eyes, probably a disappointing fifth place.
But you can at least fight for position in the 1 hour race from fifth. It's not the end of the world.
And Vessel in a brilliant sixth. I think that's his highest finish he's ever had with us. And Jeffrey as well. Also, I think a seventh place, his highest finish with us so far. So good to see some of the guys getting unexpected results.
Some of the cars still coming through. Let's see where Timo Smith did manage from 15th. I think he managed to finish 9th. So what a run that was in the last bit of this race.
And Marius from last on the grid up to 11th place. Great finish. And Rian coming 12th. So some of the guys involved in incidents not doing too well.
Yeah. It's certainly an interesting race, but it'll give the guys a feel of what to do and what not to do in the 1 hour race. And it's going to be interesting to see who can stay out of trouble. The Helix car, just once my mouse will cooperate with me, I did put a note to myself here. It's the SRC Motorsport car of Peter Geldnys. It's a BMW, but it runs with the Helix sponsorship on the side.
I believe he's on his in-lap. I think they've all finished their races, so we are actually going to jump to an ad break. The server will tick over shortly, and then we can join for the feature race. So we will be back with you shortly.
Speak to you then.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, Look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBF USA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now live. We have our IBF banner, so we are live for the feature race. We're just having to sort the grid out with a few drivers having issues reconnecting. Grid has been set, the drivers have joined. You are, of course...
You can see that everybody's made it.
Yes. Of course, you are watching the Sim Experience IBF GT3 World Series Round 5, coming to you live from Long Beach, California, United States. I'm your commentator, Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Sean Woodgate.
What fun we've had in the sprint race, and certainly it's going to be interesting to see how they approach the 1 hour main event.
This, of course, is Round 5 from Long Beach, California. We'll be heading to Spa-Francorchamps for Round 6, Mexico Grand Prix for Round 7, Montreal in Canada for Round 8, Sebring in United States for Round 9, and the Monza Grand Prix circuit in Italy for the final round, Round 10.
There's still a possibility of a surprise circuit for Round 10, or has that been put on hold?
No, that is in the Namibian Championship.
Of course, yes. I'm getting myself confused, yes. Excuse me while I pull myself towards myself.
I make that mistake very often as well.
So,
I mean, I just clicked the wrong button there. Just looking at the championship very quickly, I'm just going to run through this as quick as possible because the drivers are on their formation lap. This is our current championship standings for the top 18 drivers. And of course our team standings. We have Team Harder Racing currently leading Fach Auto Tech Esport from PZN panel beaters. Alright, so now we can show you the starting grid. So for race 2 we have Jean-Louis du Toit in pole position from Jason Underwood, Andre Besson and Gerrit Bierkes. In 5th place, Adrian Nel. In 6th place, Wessel Pauline, brilliant first race. Jeffrey Rowe in 7th place, Antonio de Lima in 8th place. Timo Smit in 9th, Dinesh Singh in 10th, Maurice van Dijk 11th and Rian van der Westhuizen in 12th. In 13th place we have Julian Brains. In 14th place Andre Hildebrandt. 15th place Dirk. In 16th place Peter Geldenes. It's Dirk Kutzer, I believe. In 17th place Stanton Augustus. 18th place Peter Murray. 19th place Chris Collison and 20th place Donovan Vermaak. In 21st place Dani Stander. 22nd Harvey Koos. 23rd Sean Olivier.
Nice full grid, so is that the hairpin already? So is this go for the start?
It is,
I believe
it is indeed.
They slowed them up and bunched them really nicely.
Alright, here they go. Waiting for the line as they put their foot down and we're away.
Well done to Jean-Ray there. He really slowed that all the way, and hopefully they'll listen to what was said in driver's briefing, is that don't try the miracle move around the flower pot or the fountain. The 3 cars or 2 cars next to each other just don't work through there. So if you're going to do it, wait until you get out of turn 5 before mounting a challenge. But certainly it's very interesting to see that at this early stage, Jason Underwood is challenging already. If we look rearwards from the number 737 car of Jean-Ray du Toit, and you can see that that Aston Martin is right there with another Aston Martin. So the Astons are the cars to have by the looks of it for this track. Jason didn't qualify that well, but certainly had a good race and is flying along now. And I think that's Adrian in 3rd position already.
Yes, up ahead of Andre Besson.
So, but look at the lead. I think Jason's got to defend a little bit, and because he's got to do the defending, that means that Jean-Ray can get away in the lime green Boeing Brigade car. So certainly going very, very well is the PZN racing car. Here's the hairpin, and it's the end of lap 1 already. So things happen very fast around this track. You did mention the lap times, we'll see them now, but certainly fast and furious, and the corners are vicious, but then there are quite a few bits that are fairly straight, and you can slipstream and see if you can position yourself well enough to try and do a pass. But at this stage, I think 2nd and 3rd, Underwood, Nel, Besson, Bierkes, those are the guys that are fighting for position. And Timo Smit had an incident in the sprint race, but recovered well, I think, from 15th to find himself in 8th position at the moment. It's not ideal, but I think he'll be very happy with that.
A bit of action going on here as we see Stanton working his way through the field. I think getting involved in an incident in race 1 and now having to work his way through. I believe he had a DNF or something like that in race 1.
Certainly finds himself already very competitive, so in 12th position. That Fach Auto Tech Esport team, that's the way the Germans would probably pronounce it. They are very competitive, him and I think Donny Bellafronte. Sometimes I think it's frustrated with some of the driving, but nonetheless, Chris Collison is in mid-pack there, not used to running that far down in the field. So Chris Collison has a lot of recovering to do. He's normally in the top 3, if not leading. So there's his number now, number 22. He's in 16th position. There's a bit of a nudge by Chris Collison.
Coming through the field, the guys being a fraction slow on the brakes, catching him out.
Yeah, I don't think he expected Peter Geldenes to be quite that hard on the brakes in the final hairpin coming into the shoreline drive, which makes up, I call it the the bow, they call it the front straight, then it's Bridgestone, and then there's a fairly straight bit before they get to that turn one left-hander, and then the flower pot, which goes to the right twice. If you watch Formula One cars, they hardly blink going through there. It's change, and they've through it, so it happens very quickly. This was, I think, turn 5, 6, and then they'll be very soon into Pine Avenue, and then you'll see Seaside Way has all these overpasses. That's quite a long straight bit before you get to Firestone Turn. And if you don't get a good run there, then there are very few other places where you really can think about doing a pass, because then it's a long, continuous left-hander. That's Indy left.
Oh, one of the cars in the way there.
Yeah. It looks as though it's one of the Namibian cars, and that's very slow, so everybody has to take easy to the pits. So everybody takes evasive action and seems to get through there. Now, I don't think Adrianel is quite happy with the rate at which he got through, but he has third position, and he has number 11 still right in his sights, Jason Underwood in the Team Harder Racing Aston Martin.
Something I've noticed, just to remind everyone, we do have different tyre choices here. So while I put that on the screen, you can see the tyre choices. So red is soft, yellow is medium, white is hard. Occasionally we'll have a blue for wet. Most of the drivers going either hard or medium. We have one driver on the softs. And that's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes. I don't know that he realizes he's on the softs, but he's not going to last the race on softs. He's definitely going to have to come in for some tyres.
He will have his moment or his few laps in 5th position that he will be able to talk about and say, I was running in the top 5. But certainly if the tyre wear comes in and this bright sunshine, the track's going to be nice and hot, so I think you're going to be using those tyres quite a lot. And everybody else around him is on the hard compound, up to 8th position. Then there are a few mediums, and we have 2 competitors that have mixed. It's Julian again, number 40, Julian Brains. He runs a mixed compound, and Dinesh Singh also runs a mixed compound. So Dinesh there, car number 5 in 12th position. As it goes through, very nice looking, that white with the blue stripes right there again. Dinesh slows right down, and Chris Collison have to get right out of the throttle and take evasive action. Otherwise, he would have run right into the back of him. But that in itself shows good driving skill. He realized if he'd stayed on the line, he'd have run into the back of Dinesh. So took avoiding action, stay in the race, live to fight another day.
Right, getting very aggressive over the curb there. Let's see how cautious he is. Taking a slightly wider entry there. I'm sure on his toes because of the previous corner, the final corner.
Yeah, I think they both gave that flower pot. Oh, there's the wall, and that of course forces him in off the circuit. And Chris wouldn't have expected for him to bounce back. You expect a guy of his quality, Dinesh, to actually not hit the wall there, but I think it was just a rub. But Chris is also a very experienced driver. He's going to just get off the throttle and come back to take another go at it.
I'm not sure if Dinesh has got an issue because he's weaving slightly, maybe to feel if the car's all right. He did hit the wall quite hard.
Yeah, that'll be on that right front. So we'll see when they get to the pit exit or the pits whether he actually does go in, but he's very slow at the moment. And I'm just trying to see who's running behind him. It's Marais. Yeah, number 420. So Peter doesn't seem to be catching him at any major rate.
That Ferrari is fast in the straight. Wow, look at it go.
Yes. So Peter Marais running car number 420. We'll see if he can catch. He runs the BMW. That's the PZN Wildmec Racing Team. And then they into that portion of the track again where we say this is not the place where you try and overtake. You just observe. Well, you don't observe the scenery. You just concentrate to get around that part of it and then live another day and try and mount a challenge later. Timo Smit is in 7th, so he's gained up. I think I said he was in 8th. So he's in 7th position.
And closing on Jeffrey. Racing. Yeah, right up there behind Jeffrey now.
So Timo Smit had an eventful first race, and now he's coming up on Jeffrey Rouse. Again, also concentrate, and then wait for the right moment to actually make the pass. there are quite, as I said, quite a few straight, but some of them longer than others. But you've got to think a corner or two ahead as to where you're going to be if you are going to challenge. This is the main straight, which isn't straight, and certainly turn one is not the place to go for a dive, because that road narrows, because they run through it straight and straighten the rest of it as well. Even though it looks wide, it doesn't have a natural two-car width because of the racing line that gets followed at apexes, left and right and left again. So it's three corners in a very, very short space of time.
I was about to say that Corvette looks like it's handling the bumps a lot better. It seems to be very sort of soft on the suspension, which we know generally American cars are. Obviously a race car, they do stiffen it up. But it just looked softer over the bumps, and then as I was about to say that he got a little bit sideways, but it does generally look a bit smoother over the bumps.
Yeah, and he's staying right there with the car in front of him, Jeffrey, and I've been told his surname is Rouse, like in house, so Jeffrey Rouse, and Jeffrey's defending for all he's worth. But I suppose just stay there. There's an hour in which the race can run, and you're certainly not going to become the hero in the first 10 minutes. You've got to stick at it, and it's literally 9.5 minutes that have been run, and Timo will be fighting for that position. How far are they behind the cars? There's quite a gap that Jeffrey has before Andre Besson, but Andre Besson is only half a second behind Gerrit Beekes. Now Gerrit runs in the BP Racing colours, so that's going to be quite an interesting battle. Here comes Timo now. Is he going to do it here? No, that means he's going to run wide, and he loses all that he'd gained. Turn one is certainly not the place to do it, and well, turn 1 to 3, that complex. Around the flower pot, not the way to, or not the place to attempt to pass. And now he's got to do all of that hard work over again as they go up towards what I call the parking garages and left into that Ducati turn. This is Pine Avenue that they're running through now.
But even some of the onboards there, you can see Pine Avenue on the sign there. That's a street name. That's why it's called Pine Avenue, because that is the actual street that they're on.
And the one they're on now, Seaside Way, with all the overpasses that I was mentioning earlier on. So I suppose that's also the street name. And that goes into Firestone Turn, although it has Long Beach City College on that bridge walk over that goes there. And there's also, once you get to Firestone, I think the passing opportunities are gone, because it's Indy left and then the hairpin, and now it's a straight. And here I think Timo would have preferred to have been a lot closer. I think you've actually got to slipstream, but that being said, Jeffrey is certainly flying along, and that car of his has a turn of speed about it. It's the Audi. I think it's the only Audi in the field. So it is really going well, but on the brakes, Timo gets right up there with him again, and then they go through the flower pot complex, past the right-hander again, and then up to the park. Well, I say it looks like a parking garage. It could be an office complex, and then it's the straight bit before they get to the 90-degree left again. But certainly the straights are too short, I think, to do anything to pass here. As we jump to Andre Besson, car number 4, and Andre Besson had a very good first race, and this is his debut race meeting, I believe, and he's right up there, I think, with one of the BP competitors in the BP racing. Is that Gerrit? Let me find where Andre is. Yes, it's Gerrit Beekes. Yeah. So, and he's really making his presence known in that BMW, is Andre Besson. So right there with him, and if anything, there's the hairpin, and this is probably a good chance now to try and draft or catch a slipstream, as we say. The Americans talk about drafting, but Gerrit will be wise to it and change that. Well, the road actually allows him to change direction past the palm trees, and what you're looking at in front of you here, I think they've passed it already, in fact, is the height to tell. Oh, there's a car, that's Harvey. Just looking at the color scheme, that's Harvey that got that turn 1 wrong and spun round, and I think he's actually been hit by Gerrit Beekes. Now, whether Gerrit has any damage, that remains to be seen. It looks as though he's going okay for now, but certainly that's not where you want to, because you're totally unsighted. If somebody's gone through turn 1 and actually spun after the apex, to find the car stuck there, unless I didn't see any yellow flag warning or indication, but then again I wasn't looking for it. So there might have been one that I'd missed. There's Dinesh Singh in that very nice looking Ferrari of his. The Ferrari with the Ford stripes on it. So if you lose your marbles a little bit, then you think it looks slightly like a GT40. Oh, somebody made that corner a little bit too wide. That's behind Peter Geldnys. So to see, is that Donovan from Mark that didn't quite make that corner the way that it was designed?
I think he just decided to lean on the wall a bit too much.
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah,
Geldnys.
he's had, I think, one or two brushes here and there, but certainly, he did in the sprint race, get a tap here or there. Was that Chris Collison that came up to him, and he was earlier on the brakes than what Chris expected him to be. Look at Chris, where does Jason Underwood's in second, that we know. I'm just having a quick look down the leaderboard, and it looks like Chris has a DNF. Now that's going to be a very interesting result for the championship. DNF so far for Javi Gous after that spin, Chris Collison, Tony De Lima, and Dirk Kotze is also out of the race. And Andre Hildebrand already 2 laps down, but Andre still running, number 72. So the field already feeling the effects of this race.
And I see gaps are starting to grow. So the gaps that were at the front were under a second, and now up to a second. Andre now is just over a second behind Jason. The gap further back, Andre to Gerrit, also about a second. And further down. So it looks like guys are getting to that point. Are the tires wearing? Are they being more conservative, settling into their groove maybe?
There's been a change. While you were talking that, I looked down and Stanton got past Dinesh. For Stanton now up into 11th. I think it was Stanton that was facing the wrong way. There's Dinesh behind him. So Stanton running in the Fach Autotech eSport team, and Dinesh Singh runs in the IBFUSA team. Is his teammate out here tonight? We haven't given him a mention at all.
No, he's actually on the YouTube channel. So good evening, Donnie.
Okay. So, right. So Stanton had a good pass there. We missed it. As often happens, we talk about one thing or we focused on one thing and something else happens elsewhere. And look at that Porsche go. Once he got past, he certainly has got a good run now. Does Stanton in 11th. Let's see how far he's behind. It's 4 down to 3.8. So let's keep an eye on how Stanton catches Peter Marais. Now, Peter Marais, car number 420, is a BMW. So let's see what the Porsche, this one, specifically can do to that BMW in front of it. It was about 4 seconds when I did mention it. So we keep an eye out for that to see if the Porsche is catching. Stanton and team, they run in 24-hour endurance races. So for them, this 1-hour race is not really an endurance race. They're used to running much longer. And Stanton will be a good indicator of what he expects tire wear to do. And he's running on mediums. So also is Rian van der Westhuizen, mixed compound for number 40, Julian Brains. Those are the cars ahead of him. So Peter Marais is certainly out there as well still and making his presence felt. Let's just see where Peter is running.
Currently 10th place. He's right in front of Stanton, but right behind his own teammate. So that battle is, like the previous round, is brewing nicely towards the end. Well, I mean, not towards the end. We've got 43 minutes to go still, actually.
Yeah, so it must be nice from their sponsor's point of view to see the cars running in formation like that. That's running what we call a very wide car. You're not quite on the wall, which is the racing line, so you're a little bit off it. So that.
Speaking of the wall, Rian bumping it.
Yeah. So the wall does bite, and these guys certainly are giving it their everything to try and get closer. It doesn't look as though there are any team orders, but in them keeping each other up, Stanton's right there with them. There's a nudge and a wall. So those two BMs are going to give both of their positions more than likely shortly to the Porsche. So it just goes to show Stanton just bided his time, and the two teammates had a bit of a tussle. And now the Porsche doesn't only get one position. I think within a lap or so, he's going to get the other BM as well.
Yeah, and just in front of them, he's got Julian, another Porsche. So he'll probably pick up Julian fairly soon. And then it's going to get a bit more difficult. A 26 gap between Julian and Timo in 7th place.
Yeah. Talking of Timo, he's only 0.4 of a second behind Jeffrey. Now, are those softs of Jeffrey going off? That means Timo's going to be up into 6th if he just stays where he is now and allows the tires to wear on the car in front of him. Talking of that, there goes the Minions car.
I'm surprised that Jeffrey's actually managed to get as far into the race as he has on those softs. Those softs must be running on their rims at the moment.
Yeah, and one wonders if they do go off, are they going to be unforgiving? And as we've seen the circuit with the walls around, if you lose the back end and you're into the wall, then, nice to see the flames come out of the back of Timo's, or the exhaust pipe of Timo's car there on deceleration. So the graphics, Dennis, great job tonight. Things are running the way they're meant to be.
It does look good. This track does look very, very pretty as well, with all the buildings and stuff. The street circuits generally look very nice.
What's nice about this track are the markers. From a commentary perspective, you can almost just within a corner or so identify where you are. So this Acura bridge here, I know we're on the pit straight, or the main straight, and this is where Timo, I think, will try and catch, but he's not going to. I don't think he'll try and make a lunge.
He's close. He's coming. Here he comes. There he goes. Yeah, he's got it, I think.
Yeah,
will he make it? Oh, into the wall.
That's where the red mist comes down, and he hit that tire barrier very hard. I would be surprised if Timo is going to carry on in this race.
Yeah, so he just took a chance there, maybe just a little bit too much of a chance, maybe a couple of meters too late on the brakes, and that was it. Couldn't make the corner, and decided there is actually an escape road there. He could have bailed out of it, but obviously if you do, you know in your mind that it's race over.
Yeah. So the soft compounds of Jeffrey Rouse live to fight another day. Julian Brains is in 8th position. He's still going strong. So Timo, is that Timo? Yes, he's still running.
Managed to
so
get
he's
going,
down to 7th. And he's he's 18 seconds that he's behind Jeffrey. So that wall that car's not handling well at all. No. On the brakes, the back end steps out. I wonder if there's not something broken on the suspension in the front.
Still 40 minutes to go. He could pit and maybe go for repairs, although it'll be a timely stop. It might be worth it with 40 minutes. He can maybe still pick off a few places, work his way back up.
There are points available all the way to 15th. And at the moment, we only have 19 cars on the track, and Andre Hildebrandt's a lap down. 2 laps down. Peter Geldnys is a lap down. So he might fix and come back in 17th and then try and fight for at least a point or so for 15th position.
Yeah.
So Andre Besson, these are both BMWs fighting it out with each other, but Andre Besson is trying his utmost to make an impression on the car in front of him, and that is Gerrit Beekes in the BMW, in the BP Racing colours. Certainly very close. There's also the wall, and that'll be Andre Besson not challenging as hard, because if there's damage to the left front, which is where he did touch, it might just be a reminder to him to really be very careful, because as we said, even in the sprint race, this track isn't like other tracks that have gravel traps and runoff areas and things like that. If you miss it, you miss it, and you've got to argue with a piece of cement or a tire barrier. So everything can and might still happen.
Very close between the two of them. Let's see how it will be under the brakes. It looks like Andre's not going to be as brave as Timo was.
Yeah, I think Timo actually got a very good slipstream, better than what he thought he did himself. And his entry speed into that corner was more than what it normally would be.
Yeah, definitely caught him out. I think also maybe being on the tighter on the inside, maybe it's a bit too tight, because that is a very tight corner. Maybe his speed, if he was on the right line, he might have made it.
Yeah, as I said before, that corner is 1, 2, 3 changes of direction very, very quickly. So if you get the first one wrong, the chances are, well, in his case, he got the first one totally wrong. And then, of course, he didn't make the rest of them at all. But he's back, he's fighting, and he might even get a point in this race. So Timo in 18th, what's he behind? He's 12 seconds behind Peter Geldnys, but then there's almost a minute that Peter Geldnys is behind Donovan. So Timo's fallen way off the pace, and I wonder whether he might not decide to call it today. Look at the back end of that BP Racing BMW step out.
And as we were talking there, we saw Andre actually get past Gerrit while they were getting up to the back marker. One went left, one went right, and he actually managed to get out ahead of Garrett now, so that definitely assisted him.
As I mentioned, the BB Racing BMW, I saw somebody going to the pits.
That
So
was
I
the
wonder if
Porsche.
Yeah.
I believe it was Donovan.
So let's just see, where's the soft compound? Jeffrey's still going. What's
Having a
his
tire-
lap
he's-
times doing?
Donovan having some tires fitted to the car at the moment. I believe it's the rear being changed.
Jeffrey's still doing, his last lap was a 121 dead. The car ahead of him, Gerrit, did a 122. Andre on the hards did a 120. Adrian a 119. Jason a 120.5. And Jean-Ray a 121.5. What's the gap? Jason's right there with Jean-Ray. I'm surprised that they're not showing it. It's now less than a second. So there's Sean Olivier in the Thorax Racing car number 137. So that BMW also still going strong, running a little bit isolated. I think he'd like to have something to attack. It's always better if you've got something to aim at. And it's interesting, as we had that forward-facing camera, how wide the track is. This that you see in front of you now is first, second, and third, I would believe.
Yes.
No, that's not Adrian. This is first, that's second, that's third. The green car in first position, the blue car second is Jason Underwood, and behind them the orange car of Adrian now in number 15 in third position. Once my tongue and my brain get into the same gear.
Now, I've heard from one of the drivers that fuel on this track is going to be critical. So depending on how the drivers set their fuel up, some of the drivers set the car to run as lean as possible, and if they do that, they'll be fine. If they don't and they use any of the other maps that are more aggressive on fuel usage, they are going to need to do a stop for fuel. The tank just isn't big enough.
Yeah, there's a very good sportsmanship there from that Porsche being lapped. Stays out of the way of first, second, and third position. And the blue flags were out. Even here, this very tight corner. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't the back marker's fault. That was Adrian. That was, I think, a little bit over-eager there because the back marker really did his best to stay out of the way there.
It just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, once again, he stays out of the way on the straight. And they did ask, don't do anything irrational and a sudden movement. And that Porsche was way out of the way for a long time. And I think maybe Adrian was just a little bit wide, which means you're probably running a wider slingshot through the corner and your speed through the corner is a little bit fast. Here's the race leaders catching up to Dinesh, I think it is. So now all of a sudden, this is a hectic fight. 0.3 of a second for first and second. And time-wise, we still have 34 minutes to go. So things can and probably will still change in this race.
Yep, looking good.
Nice bright California sunshine day. So certainly the weather I don't think is going to play an active part in this race the way that it did at Monaco earlier today. But I know that Jean-Ray is not going to have everything his own way. The Team Harder Racing competitor number 11, Jason, is going to be right at him there with that Aston Martin. And also clever, you don't have to do anything irrational now. That's not even half the race run yet. And certainly there are going to be opportunities where you can mount a challenge. So here's the hairpin and then the straight again. So another lap completed. How many laps are they doing or have they done already? 20 laps as Jean-Ray comes across the line. So the gap 0.6 of a second to Jason Underwood. So Jason's just sort of rethinking the whole strategy. Keeps Jean-Ray, shall I say, concerned. This flower pot section, not the place.
Who was that had spun in the wall there?
I saw the car as it flashed past, but certainly it was off the racing line, which is beneficial to these guys. They're coming up to another back marker. Is that Harvey just having a quick look up the road? It looks so it might be. And judging by the way that he stays out of the way, it probably... No, it's not Harvey. It's not the right
Andre
colours.
Hildebrandt.
Okay,
Andre.
so well done. And a lesson to many. Harvey's also got a DNF. I think he was the one that had spun around earlier that we spoke about. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cars with the DNF. Donovan running 3. Donovan Vermaak 3 laps down. Andre Hildebrandt 3 laps down. Timo Smit 2 laps down. That car then must be very slow compared to what he's used to. Peter Geldner is 2 laps down, Donnie Stander a lap down, as is Marius van Wyk, Rian van der Westhuizen, Wessel Viljoen and Dinesh Singh. So it's only the top 10 that are on the same lap. And I think Peter...
I'm sorry, I'm going to butt in. I'll take my hat off to Jeffrey. He's made the halfway mark on soft tires. That is amazing.
Yeah, and he's still running fairly good lap times. He's in the 121.3s, which is quicker than the cars behind him. So he's staying away from Stanton and Julian. Well, Stanton's on mediums, and Julian is on a hard medium mix compound. So between those 3 cars, we have 3 different, one on full softs, one on full mediums, and one on hard medium combo. So interesting to see, but when the tires are going to go off those softs, that's going to be the interesting part. Quickest lap race is a 119.234 by Adrian Nel. I missed the lap on which it was actually set, but certainly he's going along very merrily. That car number 15, the Porsche, the Midnight Code one, that's the orange one. But certainly, there's one of the back markers.
Morris losing it in front of Donnie, and Donnie trying to avoid, and the car getting really loose. And here comes Jeffrey getting past them.
If you change the racing line, then it's a different car that you've got to, a totally different corner that you've got to take the car through, because you settled in what the racing line is, and now with the back marker changing the racing line for you, they go down Seaside Way, you can't miss all those overpasses. Then you've got to really make a plan in a hurry to balance the car to get through there again. Number 61 is Jeffrey. So Jeffrey's still going strong. He's just gone past, I wonder if that was, it's also one of the green. Yeah, Stani. But then he, as I just say that, we really put the mockers on the drivers when we speak of them. Who's there? Is that Donnie into who's?
That is Morris diving into the pits. I don't know if that'll be for tires.
That's going to be interesting. So Marius van Wyk was running mediums, so he does a pit stop. Who else has been into the pits? He goes into the pits. Timo Smit has been in the pits. I think that probably for the repairs.
See the car being jacked up.
Yeah, Peter Geldner has been in as well. Now running, I'm not quite sure what he was running in the beginning, but on mediums now. But then with a half race run, I suppose if you were to put on mediums now, you'd expect them with the car getting light on fuel that the medium tires would last the rest of the race, which is now under 30 minutes.
Just behind Carrot we see Timo, but he's actually 2 laps down, so he did indeed pit to have the car repaired. Curious to see. His lap time is 19.1 on the previous fastest lap of the race.
Yes. So whatever they did, they fixed it. Whatever changes they made, that's all sorted. And considering that he's 3 seconds a lap quicker than the car in front of him, then the 15 seconds that he has to catch might just happen in the next 5 laps. So that'll be for an additional point. He's already getting a point. They might even get one more.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It definitely pays off to stay in the race, get the car repaired, and still 20-odd minutes to go, 28 minutes to go. Anything can happen. He can hopefully work his way up and get a few points.
The car ahead of him is Marius van Wyk. That's one of the Deltic Esport Porsches. But I think Marius is a lap down on him, in fact, even though he's been in, Timo has been into the pits.
Yeah, Marius was in the pits now, so that gap might grow as well. There's a 25-second gap. So that should probably take 10, just under 10 laps. So he should be able to catch him and still have about 10 minutes left to try and catch Dinesh.
Right, so Timo is in the race and he'll be happy with that. So car number 84, I'm just trying to see where he is.
We have a DNF for Stanton Augustus. I'm not sure what happened, but he is in the pits and he's out of the race.
That's not very good, because Stanton really he was on the podium the last race.
Yeah, he's been one of our top runners in the championship. Currently 3rd in the championship. Oh, Sean getting it all wrong there, as we see Jean-Andre now coming up to him to lap him.
And it's in the place where there's very little chance to pass, so he stays out of the way there. Well done. And now, of course, that means that Jason Underwood's got to get past him as well, but flashes the lights, which I think just they let the guy know I am on my way. So please be aware that I'm in second place and you're about to be lapped. So I should imagine there are blue flags out as well that indicate to him to stay out of the way. Lights flash. He stays on the racing line. This is the straight, so there's a lot of space to pass, which is probably the right thing to do. Run the race and let the other guy get past you. Don't do any sudden change of direction on the straight to get out of the way, and let the quicker car pass you where he decides to. That was actually down Seaside Way that I think happened, maybe between Firestone and Indy Left, but certainly no chance to overtake between Indy Left and the hairpin into the straight. So what's the gap now? 1.5 seconds between Jean-Ray Dutoit and Jason Underwood. So Jean-Ray, because of the back markers, has been given a bit of breathing space, and he'll certainly appreciate that. Adrian Nell, how far is Adrian behind? 2 seconds behind Jason. So certainly things can still happen. You have to finish the race. That's, of course, your first aim. Also, I think just for pride, you've got to try and beat your teammate. And that being said, Chris Collison, we did say, is out of the race, which is going to change or shake up the championship quite a bit. So this is a chance for Jason Underwood. I didn't pay attention in class when you were giving what the points were, how far Jason is behind, and certainly he'll be scoring good points this race meeting.
Definitely will be. Jason, I believe, was in second place. I can actually bring up the points if I just quickly turn this all off, and then I can show everyone what the points currently are.
And slow that hairpin coming into the straight really slows the car right down. I didn't actually, when I was looking at the info. So there's Stanton, who's out. He was third. Jason, who was second, was only behind by 16 points, with Chris scoring no points. I don't have in front of me the slide, but I think you get plenty points for a win. It looks as though we might have a new leader when we get to the end of Long Beach.
Yeah, so first and third having issues. So Jason, I think, might get the jump on Chris possibly, but possibly the drivers that were, or fourth is Timo, and Timo's had a bad run, so maybe the drivers in fifth and sixth will actually jump up a bit. So let's see who those were. So in fourth we have Timo, we have Carrot. Carrot is having a decent round. Sean is having a terrible round. So
Carrot's in
Adrian,
fifth.
I think Carrot and Adrian are going to be the two main benefactors, and of course Jean-Louis Dutoit, having won the first round, got the fastest lap, having got pole position, definitely having a good points haul.
Yeah. Actually take a snapshot of this, but we'll keep it in mind. But certainly there's another one of the Namibian drivers showing how it should be done, getting off the racing line, getting out of the way. Thank you very much. And he allows Adrian Nell through, and the benefit of that is he doesn't slow down his own race.
Yes,
so it is a great bit of gentleman driving there, and manages to keep his car's momentum throughout as well. Well thought out.
Something I noticed is Jeffrey has dropped down to 9th place, so I'm not sure if that's because of his tyres finally wearing on him. But we have Peter Murray ahead of him, and Sean Ullifer ahead of him now, and Julian Brains as well. Julian actually having a good round.
22 seconds slower than Peter Murray the last lap, and 20 seconds slower than Dan Histando, who's behind him. So if now's the time that they say the tyres have fallen off the cliff, then this is the time he needs to go into the pits. If he's going, well, it says he's made a pit stop, so that's why he's fallen down. He's made a pit stop and he's gone on to softs again. So if he could make them last over 30 minutes the first time round, now they're going to last 23 minutes or 24 minutes. So maybe not too bad a strategy. Go to 2 sets of softs for the race and hope that the hards of the race leaders don't last the whole race.
Yeah.
So let's see what he lights up there. He's got a best sector time, personal best in sector 3. So he's got the foot down. Timo Smith has the best, still at 119.16. And Timo in 11th position at the moment, but a long way behind Donnie Stander. It's 47 seconds. I think that's about the best that Timo could hope for if everything were to stay as it is. But normally as motor racing progresses, things don't stay the way they are. Oh, getting that corner wrong was Rion. The PZ Yeah, and that was a hard hit, and that's that flower pot. Well, it's not actually the flower pot yet, that's turn one. So if you get it wrong in and out of turn one, Sean Olivier was also very close to the wall there. He's going, looks as though he's still going well. So Ardenal just biding his time. It's a second that he's behind Jason, and Jason is just over 2 seconds behind Jean-Ray. So first, second, and third still fairly close with 22 minutes to go.
Yep, Jason's going to have to start looking in his mirrors soon.
Yeah.
They will be filled up very, very shortly.
There's a yellow in sector one. We, I think, are through sector one already. So we won't see who that is. But Ardenal is certainly going extremely well at this stage. Less than a second now between himself and Jason Underwood. There's that hairpin. You can't miss it. Into the straight. And this is where you hope to catch some slipstream to get closer to the car in front of you. Although turn one is not the place to pass, in my opinion. But I'm not a racing driver. I'm the clown that gets paid to leave. That's the joy of commentary. And there they go through that turn one. It's left, it's right. And then it's left, right around the flower pot and left again. So you're really, really busy in turns 1, 2, 3, and then before you can even take a breather, it's a 90-degree right, turn 4, and another 90-degree right, turn 5.
With the amount of curb they're taking there and liberties they're taking there, do they even need a gardener? Because, you know, the pruning doesn't need to be done on those flowers.
You can plant a hedge and it'll be done. It's like you see some avenues in Cape Town where Foresters Arms is, where the buses run. You can see exactly how tall and how wide the buses are because that's where the trees sort of reach the end. But a very good point because it'll cut the hedge there every time these guys go through. We did see in the sprint race that one of the guys took off, I think, a little bit more than what the gardener would have been happy with. So this is first, second, and third that you see in vision. Jean-Ray du Toit, number 737, Jason Underwood, number 11, and Ardenal, number 15. First, second, and third in sight of one another with less than 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, this is also the closest battles on the track at the moment, is first, second, and third. The rest of the battles, the next closest, I think, 5 seconds. So, yeah, this is the battle to watch. It's obviously the most important battle as well.
So we'll be happy for their sponsors that they get good airtime for them. Team Harder Racing in the form of Jason Underwood. The number 737 car of Jean-Ray du Toit is PZN Racing. And then Ardenal, number 15, he races for Midnight Code, the Porsche.
See a rear-facing view. The view of Adrian being the hunter.
And Jason the hunted.
Surprisingly not catching as much under the brakes as I kind of expected the pendulum effect to be a bit more exaggerated on the street circuit, where the guys will dive in on the brakes and then because it's slow corners they pull away, they sort of that yo-yo effect, but not really having that sort of effect.
Nice to look out the back of the car to see what the Indy left looks like. Then it's the hairpin, and now they're into the main straight again. So certainly the Jason Underwood's Aston Martin has a good set of legs on it once it gets onto the straight. So certainly going well. Let's see Wessel Viljoen, another DNF. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DNFs, of which the previous to last one was Stanton Augustus for reasons unknown to us. But Wessel Viljoen, the next DNF. And the one that shows you've got to get your car fixed and get it back on the road is Timo Smit. Because I was still saying he's going to be getting a point or two for 15th, but Timo is in fact running in 11th position and has a bonus point for the quickest lap time.
Yeah, and that's brilliant that he's hung in there. That could be all important come the end of the championship.
Yeah. Let's see what Jeffrey's doing. Jeffrey's running 123s at the moment, which is slower than the cars ahead of and behind him. But he's still running on the second set of softs. So he decided to stick with the softs, considering they did last as long as the first set did, and that the car's getting lighter. So, but all the cars ahead of him are quicker than what he is in the last lap. So I don't think he's going to worry too much. But then again, let's have a quick look how far behind him is Peter Murray. 18 seconds.
He's in
fact,
the pits.
Jeffrey's just... They're running a lap down, So Jeffrey has 17 seconds behind him, Donnie Stander. And I don't think he has any delusions of catching Sean Willifeed because he's 45 seconds behind him. But 8th position is going to be worthwhile if he can stay there.
I'm keeping an eye on this Timo gap at the moment, because at the moment Peter Murray is in the pits. Timo is 9 seconds back, 7 seconds back. He's about to pass him. Peter is just exiting, and we'll see Timo come past on our left-hand side. There he goes.
There goes Timo. Yeah, and Timo's at speed on warm tyres. So, and he'll be through turns 1, 2, and 3 around the flower pot while the
aggressive there.
Yeah, that was, I think even that woke him up very nicely.
Oh, that's brilliant. The comeback to 10th place after that incident that he had.
Yeah, so it shows you got to have perseverance in a race like this. And if you do have damage and it's still early in the race, then it certainly is worthwhile going in and seeing if you can have that sorted out. Donnie Stander.
Donnie also having a good race tonight. 9th place, top 10 finish. It's a great result for him.
Teammate of Harvey Goos, he runs a Mercedes in the GDR racing team. That's the Mercedes where I think, well, I don't want to say anything bad about Mercedes, but to me it's as if they forgot about something at the back. They sort of chopped the car off, sort of Corvette style, but totally not what we used to in Mercedes and the cars that they build, although these cars are quick.
Yes, they definitely are quick, and they sound amazing. You go to an onboard, you can just listen to the roaring sound of this engine. Deep, throaty sound, absolutely amazing.
Only 2 guys that chose to run the Mercedes in this championship, the other one being Wayne Kruger, who runs for the Redline Sim Racing team, but I don't think Wayne is out tonight.
No, Wayne's not here tonight. I believe he doesn't have the track. Not everyone has this track. I guess some of the guys decided not to buy it, assuming it would be one of the most difficult tracks.
I think once everything's settled and you race within your own abilities and what the track allows you to, and obviously the car look at those brakes glow as they come through that corner. So even in daylight to see the brakes glowing like that, but then that wheel is in the shade. So certainly it's, and turn up, oh, there's just a nudge is there. And that's Jason Underwood and Adrian Nell that come up to a back marker.
What a time to catch him.
Yeah, the wrong time to get the back marker in the hairpin, and in the hairpin like that, the back marker can't get out of the way. It's number 40, so it's Julian Brains, and Julian himself is running in 6th position, so he goes a lap down. Or he's been a lap down since Jean-Ray got past him, but now 1st, 2nd, and 3rd have gone past him. And that, I think, will be another thing that this race will be known for, is that at the moment, only the top 5 cars are on the same lap.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah, so, and it's not that the laps are that short, it's 1:20 or thereabouts. So, but yes, if you, just for an instant there, I don't know if you noticed, and I think that's where, let me find my bearings on this track. It's the bit just before turn 1 on the one side, and the car going in the opposite direction was between turn 5 and 6 towards Ducati turn. The tracks run next to each other, so literally one less than a street block separates them. They probably left-bound or the northbound lane and the southbound lane that they then change into 2 parts of the circuit. But this race for 2nd and 3rd is certainly where things are getting really hard. Adrian now is unrelentless on the back end of Jason Underwood's car.
And this could be crucial to the championship. I think if he can get past Jason, he might help prevent Jason from taking the lead from Chris, depending on the points difference. It could be just enough to actually stop him.
There in the distance, although it's quite a long distance away, 2 seconds worth or under 2 seconds, that's the race leader. So it's not as if these guys are driving slowly and consolidating and thinking, let's just get to the end. They are pedaling along. Past the parking garage at turn 5 and into the straight before it's the 90-degree left at Ducati.
Of course, Jean-Ray could be taking it easy being in the lead. Maybe he's just cruising along, letting them do their fighting, ruining their tires. Or maybe he's pushing his heart's content out there and struggling as well. We don't know yet.
They seem to be catching up to him because he has also the effect that back markers have is that Genre is now behind the back marker and he's got to really pick the right moment to get past that back marker such that the back marker knows he's there and there's no risk. So look at that, he did it just before, that was actually Indy left, the entrance into Indy left, and the back marker gets out of the way of everybody. A little bit, I would say, over exuberant in my opinion, but then again, that's everything we say as commentators. It's our own opinion and we're not bad mouthing anybody, so please do excuse us if it sounds as if we're saying something bad about the competitor. We're not. It's just the way that we see things, which might differ with the way somebody else does. But certainly, Adrian Nel, one thing we can't say bad about him is he is giving Jason Underwood a headache.
Yeah, he's definitely giving it his all right now, as he should, with just over 11 minutes left to go.
Interesting to see virtually everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the cars putting up a personal best in Sector 3 that last lap. So Gerrit will be happy, I think, in the BP Racing car in 5th. Andre Besson in car number 4, that's our newbie. So he's having a demon debut, is Andre. So he had a good sprint race and he's having a good 1 hour race as well. He's 19 seconds behind Adrian, so I don't think he's got any ideas of catching him in 11 minutes. But he's certainly, the guys are going to sit up and take notice of Andre Besson because he has made himself well known here that he can pedal that BMW.
Yeah, excellent drive tonight by Andre.
Unless he just really likes this track and it suits his car setup and his driving style. But for whatever reason, it certainly is, that number 4 car is going along very well.
I think this battle at the front is the most exciting at the moment. The two of them really fighting hard. 10 minutes left to go. Who is going to end up in second place? Could it be the 4th place that's, well, currently in 4th place, that ends up inheriting second because of these two coming together, or will they fight it out at the end cleanly and take 2nd and 3rd?
Remembering that they're on the same compound of tyre and both have run equally long on that compound of tyre, so a little bit wide there, I think, for Adrian. I don't think he missed the apex of that corner completely the way that I saw it, but he seemed to get, some people take, I know there's a few ways that you can take, and I've got to count quickly. I think it's turn 4 at Zandvoort. Some people like to take it tight on the inside at the low end and then drift out to the top. Other people like to go from the top down through the dip and then drift out, and the two totally different lines, but depending your driving style and how your car's set up, they have often a very similar result. What's interesting to notice is both with the Aston and with, let me find him now, the car of Adrian Nel, number 15, the Porsche, neither of the two cars are tail happy. So that tells me they've preserved tyres, and once again the top 3 put in personal bests for Sector 3. So it looks as though Sector 1 and Sector 2 are difficult, but Sector 3, they're all running in the 120s. A 120.1 for Jean-Ray, a 120.2 for Jason, and a 120.4 for Adrian. So that's really, really consistent, close racing between these top 3. And as I said, that they're not tail happy. Adrian just puts the tail end out a little bit more than I think he himself would have liked.
Getting it really loose at the moment, but he is pushing extremely hard, so maybe just getting a bit more aggressive on the throttle, trying to get a little bit extra acceleration out of the corner.
Our 2nd and 3rd, I think, might give Jean-Ray a bit of breathing space, and I say that because Jason and Adrian will keep each other busy, and if Jean-Ray just concentrates on his own race, the chances are, yeah, he's opened it up to 2 seconds already. So definitely the effect that Adrian Nel has on Jason Underwood, that's 3rd and there, that car steps out again. So are those rears being overdriven? We will have to wait and see, because it's only 0.7 of a second, but now you can visibly see that Adrian isn't as close as what he was a lap or 2 ago.
If Jason's tyres do go, does that mean that potentially Jean-Ray's tyres could go? Because they're in the same car, obviously different driving style, different setups. But that could mean that Adrian, maybe if he can get past the one, maybe he catches and gets past and actually gets victory.
that's what makes this championship, for me, so interesting, is that there are so many variables. You can have two drivers in the same car, same tires and everything, but different driving styles, different setups. Or you can have guys that are running a different car to the car in front of them. In this stage, we've got Adrian Nel, number 15, and Adrian runs the Midnight Code Porsche, and he's chasing the Aston Martin of Jason Underwood. And Jean-Ray de Toy, number 737, he runs also an Aston Martin. So the Astons, although they belong to different teams and different drivers, and they probably don't share any setup details between them, the Astons seem to be going very well, but don't write off that Porsche from Adrian as yet. He's right up there with him already again.
Very close.
Even as a look on the right, and certainly Jason won't like that bright orange view in his right-hand rearview mirror, but 0.4 of a second, and 0.4 of a second with 6.5 minutes to go is as good as makes no difference. These guys are very mature drivers. I don't think they'll do any attempt here around the flower pot. So the fountain stays, the gardener breathes a sigh of relief. They don't trim the hedge again.
Maybe they've trimmed enough off.
Yeah. I did say that John Ray was in the lead by 2 minutes. It's now 1.8. And he's the car. There's first, second, and third, as you see it visually again. A little bit late on the brakes there and drifting wider out than what he would have liked, Adrian Nel. So I think there's an old saying that slow in is fast out and fast in is slow out. And I think Adrian Nel got out of that corner a little bit slower than he would have normally done, but he got into it a lot quicker than he would have preferred. I think they're catching up. Is that Timo that might be in front of them? Just looking at the car color?
Nope.
Yes, indeed. So funny as you... And with the nice distinctive colors that the guys have in this series, and having done it from race one, you get used to the drivers and what cars they drive. So Dinesh, the one, I call it the GT40 looking car, but that's Dinesh Singh's Ferrari, with in my opinion, the Ford stripes over it, but a really nice looking car. It looks mean and aggressive, and the race leader's about to catch up to him. So race leader, and that's the flower pot, which certainly I don't think the race leaders look at that. Dinesh, well done. He gets out of the way, and then it's turn 4, turn 5, and then it's a straight bit where they can all breathe again. And that'll probably mean that Jason and Adrian can get past quite easily. Yep, there the lights do flash, and Dinesh will probably stay to one side. They don't catch him though. That Ferrari doesn't slow down. I wonder if they expected him to roll off the throttle there. Now he stays out of their way again, off the racing line, so well done to him. If they didn't catch up, then there's no obligation that he has to take a very off-the-line run through the corner, because that's really not the way that it should be done. Seaside Way, with all its overpasses and the shadows, they run into Firestone Turn, and you've hardly held your breath. Then it's the Indy left. And notice again that Adrian takes a much narrower line into Indy left, and then it's the hairpin. And there, it's so close, really so close. First, second, and third, and then behind them is Dinesh, where's Dinesh running? He's in 12th, but he's 3 laps down.
Yeah, doing really good tonight.
Yeah. So Donovan Vermaak is the last car running on the road, and he's 4 laps down, and he's going to get a point for all his efforts.
Yep.
So well done, Donovan. That's car number 95, and Donovan runs... I don't have Donovan, to be quite honest. He must have crept in somewhere in the middle of the championship. He's also with a PZN Weldmec team. So Donovan running also very well. But look at second and third. This is a battle that's going to be run all the way to the checkered flag. The cars are getting twitchy. Are you seeing that as well, Dennis?
Yes, Adrian drifting under the last corner. They're brilliant the way he had the arse out. They're just hanging it out there and just on the power, kick it sideways.
Here's the back markers out of the way. Thank you very much. Well done. Now they come up again to see how they're going to do this. Under braking, that Porsche is really, really good.
It definitely rotates more under braking. You can see how the rear end is coming around more, and he's able to get on the power and actually rotate the car nicely.
I think on that hairpin catches him out every time. Well, not every time, but it certainly did that last time. The Aston got out of the hairpin a lot quicker. I think the Aston has the ability to get on the throttle at slow speed better than what the Porsche does, or certainly it did appear to be that way out of the hairpin now, 2 seconds ago.
So,
Jason,
sorry, after you.
that team name, Team Harder Racing, I don't think Jason wanted to have such harder racing, but if you chose the name, then that's what you get today, certainly. And I think Jason will be very, very close to leading the championship, but also a big jump for Adrian Nel, a big jump for Jean-Ray Dutoit. It's going to be a shake-up in the results once we finish at Long Beach, California. This track only 3.167 kilometers long, and that's why it only runs for 1 minute 19, 1 minute 20 seconds. So with 1 minute 43, they'll probably finish this lap and do one more.
Well, Jason now clipping the wall, running wide there. Here comes Adrian.
Yep. And he's on the outside of this corner now. Is Jason going to hold? Is it the flower pot? No, it's the hairpin.
Final corner, yes.
Now let's see if the Aston can get on the gas again. They've changed. That was through Indy left, and that was actually done, I think, by mistake by Jason. So now there's going to be a big shake-up. Now they're going to try and draft, but I think Jason will know that turn 1 is not the place to pass. Not on the outside anyway. That's really, really not the place to pass. The back marker is going to come into play. That's Timo, I think.
No, that I think is Donovan or Dirk. It might be Dirk.
Might be Dirk. That car appeared to be smoking, unless I was just imagining it. But certainly, once the Porsche got past Adrian Nel, and it was a nice clean pass, really, it was well done. And Jason might just be thinking the points difference between second and third, I think, is 2 points. So rather than be overzealous and not finish, with this being the last lap, well, they're going to, when they pass I'm just trying to figure out quickly, this is the overpasses. So they're going around Seaside Way with 23 seconds to go. I don't think they will have another lap.
No,
it's going
this
to be
should
close.
be the final lap, yeah.
That we'll have to see. So there's the right, and then the left, and more left, and then it's the hairpin. They've got 4 seconds. If they get to the checkered flag, 3, 2, 1.
It's over. They have to finish now. That's it.
Jean-Ray Dutoit,
victory. Victory number 2 for the day.
Right. Well done, Jean-Ray. I do think that the battle for second and third gave him a bit of breathing space. But well done to Jason and Adrian, and one has to congratulate both of them. They were super, super competitive. And when Adrian did the pass, Jason didn't do anything stupid, anything uncompetitive. It shows the maturity of the drivers that a slight mistake, I think, from Jason, and Adrian was there to pounce.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Right, let's do the rest. It's Jean-Ray Dutoit, Adrian Nel, Jason Underwood, then Andre Besson, the newbie, for 4th position. So he's going to score good points for today. Gerrit Beekes in the BP car is in 5th. Julian Brains, number 40, in 6th position. Sean Olivier has gone past number 137 in 7th. Donnie Stander has finished in 8th position. We wait for Timo Smit, but he might have finished already by default because he's a few laps down. And so it'll be Timo Smit, Pieter Marais, Dinesh Singh, Pieter Marais in 10th, Dinesh Singh, Marius van Wyk, Rian van der Westhuizen in 13th, Andre Hildebrand in 14th, and Donovan Vermaak for all his efforts. 5 laps down, but a point in the bag in 15th position.
Brilliant stuff. We're going to head to an ad break now while the drivers are coming in to the pits. We'll be back shortly with the interviews. Catch you then.
Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBF USA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info. Are you or someone you know a victim of a car crash, or a legal professional seeking help in a crash investigation case? Look no further than IBF International. At IBFUSA, we specialize in at-scene crash evidence preservation, evidence analysis, crash reconstruction, and court testimony. We have over 20 years of experience in at-scene and post-event crash investigations in most of Southern Africa and the rest of the world. We not only provide assistance to crash victims and legal professionals, but we also offer training to those who wish to pursue a career in crash forensics. Our goal is to empower our clients with the knowledge and tools they need to navigate the often complicated world of crash investigations. Our slogan is IBF International. The facts speak for themselves, and we stand by it. We provide expert guidance and assistance to help you with insurance repudiation, expert testimony, and trial assistance. We believe that the facts should always be the driving force in any crash investigation, and we are committed to providing you with the most accurate and thorough analysis possible. If you're looking for an expert to guide you through a crash investigation, look no further than IBFUSA. For more information or to engage our services, visit our website at www.ibfusa.info.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have now completed the Sim Experience IBF GT3 World Series Round 5 from Long Beach in California, United States. Of course, we now have our interviews, and we have with us in the interviews, in first place, we have Jean-Louis Dutoy, in second place, Jason Underwood, and in third place, Adrian Nell. Sean, perhaps you could do the interviews tonight.
I can try my best. First of all, to Jean-Ray, you had the lead from the start in both the sprint race and in this race, but there was a time in the 1 hour race where it would appear that Jason and Adrian were catching up to you. Was there something that you were preserving tires, or was it just that they were driving well?
No, I think they just drove well. I did make a couple of mistakes, and if you just slide a bit too far, hit the wall a bit, then you would lose half a second. So I think they just caught up with me, and as soon as a back marker came into play, you would easily lose a second. So, but no, I managed to stay in the lead, so it was a good race overall.
Yeah. And then when they got very close to each other, and this is a question to you, Jason, the pass that came, is it that Indy left, that left-hander just before the hairpin? Was that a mistake by you, Jason, or was it just Adrian that was relentless and got the better of you?
Are you talking about the feature race, yes?
Yes, in the feature race, sorry.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I had my mirrors full of Adrian for 1 hour and probably about 5 minutes tonight. And yeah, it's just the one mistake on the last lap and just outbraked myself a little bit, and Adrian got past. So yeah, it's my own doing, but we will learn and hopefully not do it next week.
Yeah, Adrian, the right moment came and you were there to pounce. You must be very happy that you got the second place in the feature race, even though I think you are in third overall for the day. But a good run. You certainly gave us a lot to talk about in the feature race.
Yeah, no, I'm happy what had happened. I was struggling a bit mid-race with the car. Car was understeering like a pig. Then it came alive in the last 10 minutes, and I had actually amazing pace. But yeah, Jason is a tough competitor. I gave him a few love taps through the race, not intentional. Just the Porsche can brake about 50 meters later than the Aston. So yeah, it caught me off guard a few times, and I think that's what gave me the edge in making the pass at the end of the day.
Before the pass happened, and I'll stick with you, Adrian, was it just me imagining it, especially at that hairpin? Does the Aston get on the go quicker than what the Porsche does out of that last corner?
In the beginning of the race, not, but my front tires wore out quite a lot, and like I said, I was struggling with understeer, and releasing the car out of the corner, I was struggling with quite a lot. But later on, it got better, but it was still not amazing. So I couldn't put on the pass through the front straight, as well as the Astons. I mean, in slipstream, I'm still not catching them. So yeah.
Okay, so we weren't just imagining it. Well, a stunning evening. Thank you to the three of you. Thank you, Dennis, for letting everything run so well tonight. And back to you, Dennis.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, thankfully we had everything run smooth tonight. So well done to everyone. So let's just get final words from everyone. Let's start with Jandre. Final words from you.
Yeah, thanks to my sponsors, thanks to the team, and thanks to you guys for commentating and organizing, and to all the sponsors. It was a really great race, and I really enjoyed this track.
Thank you, and well done again on your double victory.
Thank you.
Jason, any final words from yourself?
Yeah, congrats to Jandre and Adrian once again. Too quick on the night, well deserved. Jandre, that's also 3 out of 3 if I'm not mistaken. So the man's in form. He's definitely the man to beat at the moment. So I'm sure all of us will try and get a little bit closer to him. And thank you to everybody that's watched here in the UK and back home. It's always nice to have some good support. Thank you very much.
Well done again on your fantastic second overall. And Adrian, any closing words from yourself?
I just want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks for the good racing, Jason, and yeah, Jandre. I enjoyed it very much. Thanks for Dennis and everyone putting again an amazing stream. I think the quality is still, I think personally, the best out there currently, even in South Africa. Maybe better than some international events, I must say. But yeah, I enjoy it.
Cool. Thank you. Hopefully the next race for you guys is just as good, and at least the streams are working again, so we're back on track with that. All right, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I'm going to drop you guys out. So while I close that off, and let me just remove you guys, put you guys back into the main chat group. You guys can talk amongst yourselves over there. All right, so Sean, it's just you and I left. That is the end of probably the most difficult round of the championship. I think going into the next round, which is of course Spa, it's a track that most of the drivers will be pretty familiar with. They drive it in almost any sim these days. It's one of the most famous circuits in the world. Of course, you've got one of the most famous corners in the world, which these days, certainly in Formula One, even in GT cars, is almost flat out, and that is Eau Rouge. Going up that hill and through the sweeping there into a long straight, it's a iconic track, certainly some of the drivers' favorite tracks. What do you think is going to be different going from this round to that round?
This track is a very point and squirt track. Very few straights, whereas I think Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium is a much more flowing track. The corners you mentioned, I think Eau Rouge is not that difficult. It's a corner, and I can never remember its name. The one on the crest of the hill that turns left, I think. That's very, very difficult, because with the momentum that you carry, the car actually squats on the suspension, and then when you crest the hill, it actually becomes very, very light. And there have been some very big accidents at that corner. So, but you have to be flat out. You have to be trusting of your car and your setup. And if you're not, then it's not going to be your track that you enjoy. So I think a lot more flowing circuit. It's very much longer. What did I say? This one's 3.167. I think Spa is 7 kilometers long.
Very long track.
It's a long circuit. So if you get damage and you've anywhere in the first 1/3 of the circuit, you've got a long way to go before you get back to the pits to even think of having it repaired. But that being said, it's one of the old style circuits, even though they've redesigned the exit of Eau Rouge since what has been happening in years gone by. It's still one of those iconic classic design circuits, and I think it's also going to be a lot of fun. It's still only an hour. I think it's a pity that we only running an hour on a track that is more than twice as long as what Long Beach is. But I would have liked to have seen maybe a 2-hour race, but then we've got to be realistic and people have to go to bed and have to go to work the next day. But I foresee that it's going to be also good racing, and that, as usual, the cream will rise to the top. The guys that have the best setup and can make the car work for them the best, they will once again be the guys that we will see on the podium at Spa.
Yeah, Spa's lap times, they're going to be probably just under the 2-minute 20, so maybe 2 minutes, certainly race pace, 2:18s, 2:19s, somewhere around there. And I think qualifying pace, maybe 2:16, 2:17, something like that. So definitely a much longer lap. And of course, if you have an issue with car damage to get back to the pits, those are fast flowing corners. It's going to be difficult, so you'll lose a lot more time if there's an issue with the car. Around a street circuit like Long Beach, if you have a problem, the corners are much slower, so you can generally coax the car back to the pits with a little bit less difficulty. So I think it's definitely a more challenging circuit and is regarded as a driver's circuit. So it should, like you say, bring the cream to the top. I think most of the tracks have been, so we've had some exciting races. But yeah, definitely going to be a very fast and flowing track, and perhaps a longer race would have worked better there. So we'll definitely have less laps, but I'm sure the action will be just as intense.
We look forward to it nonetheless.
All right, so we will catch you guys all next week. Thank you once again to IBFUSA for sponsoring this series. So you can always head over to www.ibfusa.info if you have any requirements regarding car crash investigation. And of course, all our other smaller sponsors that we have, PZN, Panel Beaters, Alwyn Automotive Glass, all the drivers that have taken part. Thank you to all of them that help us out. And of course, thank you to all the viewers in YouTube. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, thank you, Sean, to joining me in making the commentary so much more pleasant for our viewers.
It's always a pleasure. As I said before, some of these guys, and tonight they certainly showed it, some people can drive fast while others can talk fast. And I'd rather be the one talking fast than having to do all the driving.
All right, then I'll catch you next week for another round of fast talking.
That's a date. We'll see everybody. Well, we'll speak to everybody next week. Cheers. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. Have a great week. Cheers, everyone.